Hi, welcome to the primer for session 1.3 of the SHERI course, Using the Scholarly Literature. My name is Nishan Sharma. I'm the education lead at W21C and a research assistant professor in the Department of Community Health Sciences in the Cummings School of Medicine. In this session, we will talk about the scholarly literature and what it means to the educational research you will be conducting. We will talk about what the scholarly literature means and the literature review. We'll explain what the literature is used for and talk in general terms how a literature review is done. We'll also leave you with some resources that you can find for a deeper dive on the topic. What makes the material you find scholarly? Generally, we're talking about peer-reviewed or refereed articles found in scholarly journals or databases. It also refers to things like conference proceedings, books, and dissertations. While a peer review process, where an article goes out to individuals who rate the merit of the work from the journal, is no guarantee of rigor or validity, it is a process that separates work that may be classified as opinion pieces. And as far as the types of articles you might find, we are most often talking about empirical studies, or a study that seeks to provide new knowledge on a topic through research or observation. Review articles, an article that synthesizes material around a topic, or systematic reviews, a work that provides an exhaustive synthesis around a topic. There are other sources of scholarly literature other than journals, such as websites and databases, but sourcing material from credible journals is still regarded as the de facto method of searching and finding legitimate sources of information and knowledge. And how do you know a journal is credible? Well, a combination of a Google search plus determining the journal's impact factor is a good way of doing it. So why do a literature review? You can use the scholarly literature to gain an understanding of your topic, and more importantly, to gain a perspective other than yours or that at your institution. Knowing what others have done in your area of focus helps develop your own ideas. And also, doing a literature review increases your own knowledge, so you can discuss your topic in an intelligent manner. But most importantly, especially when it comes to this course, the scholarly literature helps you identify gaps you might fill with your research, allowing you to frame and focus your work to truly create new and hopefully valuable knowledge on the topic. I also find that with an understanding of the literature, you can identify tools that you might use in your inquiry that have already been tested and validated in the context of your topic. So instead of coming up with a survey from scratch, you might find one that has been used before in other studies, so you don't have to answer the questions on the validity of your tool if the context is similar enough. Or you might find a script for questions you want to ask in a semi-structured interview or in a focus group, so you can more directly compare your findings to what has already been published on the topic. When should you do a literature search? Really, you should be doing it right from the start, right as you begin to explore your topic. You'll also find yourself going back to the literature more often in the early phases of your study as you refine and focus your ideas. The feedback we give most often is that a research question is just too broad, and doing a literature search actually helps you narrow your focus. But sometimes you can actually get so specific that the findings of that particular question you might be trying to answer are so focused to a local context that it's the lack of generalizability that will make it of little value to others. So there is a balance to be struck. A literature review at the start of your study will, as we said, help you focus, clarify, and frame your inquiry. How do you do a literature search? Well, the practicalities require you to go to the library database, and since we're talking University of Calgary, here's the URL for the library, library.ucalgary.ca. Once you're there, if you look under the Search Collections tab, you can click on Databases by Subject or Name. And when you do that, you get a search box, and then it's a matter of entering the name of the database you want to search. For medical topics, this is usually Medline to start, although there are other databases you may find useful to your search, such as PsycInfo, CINAHL for nursing-related topics, ERIC for education-related topics, or Cochrane Reviews for systematic reviews. So what should be in your literature search? Well, you want to strike a balance between just enough and too much information on your topic in a literature review. You are looking for works that are representative of the field as it applies to the scope of your inquiry. You might even find a systematic review or a meta-analysis around your topic, which will save you a lot of time figuring out which are the important works. Only by spending time reviewing the scholarly literature will you be able to identify the important or seminal works on the topic, and be able to safely exclude other articles that are beyond the scope of what you're investigating. A useful technique when you do find a key article is to use two functions found adjacent to the reference. This is a view from the Ovid search engine. By clicking on Find Citing Articles, you can find papers published after the work you have found that reference the article. This can lead to papers that may have created new knowledge on the topic, or that may have refined its methodology, for example. You can also click Find Similar, which will search the database for works that were categorized with similar keywords. It is important to keep track of what you find and where, and how it aligns with your goal of the literature review, which is to synthesize what is known about your topic. There are a lot of ways to do this, including using a reference managing software program like EndNote or RefWorks. But here is a simple synthesis matrix that you might start with, as pointed to from a library guide here at U of C. In each row, you put down a major point you want in your review, and each column is an author or an article and what they have said on the topic. Thank you for your time. Here are some references that may help you further explore the topic of the scholarly literature.